In fashion marketing, working with the right influencers has long been a key to achieving success for both influencers and for brands. For influencers, for example, if they chose the wrong brand to cooperate with, it might have a negative impact on their reputation. And for brands, if they chose the wrong influencers that are not suitable to match their brand identity, it might also have a negative influence on their brand image. And so this episode, I would like to talk a little bit about influencers and social media. Hi everyone, welcome to Fashion Brief. And so as this episode is about influencers, it's inevitable to also talk about social media. So I would like to also include some of the social media trends in this episode. And I believe most of us use not only one social media app. For me, I have almost every social media apps because I think this is very interesting to discover new functions in terms of marketing. And for different social media platforms, they are also having different kinds of characteristics. For example, Instagram is famous for its beautiful layout, beautiful pictures. For Facebook, it's more or less the mixture of articles and also pictures. And it's easy to create groups, communities. For Twitter, it's famous for its short tweets. For YouTube, it's famous for its informative videos, tutorials. And for Snapchat, it's about intimacy. And also for Clubhouse, it's its audio-only platform. And so for the mentioned social media, most of the fashion and luxury brands are having their presence on these platforms. And since 2020, TikTok has created a buzz throughout the world. The app has now over 2 billion downloads and 800 million active users around the world. And most of the users are under 30 years old. Namely, most of them are Generation Z. For TikTok, it's very famous for its fun, viral, digestible short videos from 15 seconds to 1 minute. And different from other social media platforms, the content is very intimate, and also it creates a close relationship between fans and content creators. So when we compare with the 24 anti-laws of marketing in the luxury industry with the characteristic of TikTok content, we might observe that this is actually not a match for TikTok and luxury brands. And so actually TikTok is not created for everyone. And also some critics stated that creating a lot of goofy videos might dilute luxury brands' brand image. I totally agree with that. But however, social media plays a huge and also important role in the field of marketing. And so we can observe that some of the luxury brands had already had their presence on TikTok. Although it might not be a good match, I observed that actually some of the luxury brands are having presence already on TikTok. For example, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior. However, most of their contents are about fashion shows and fashion commercials. And actually the content of TikTok shouldn't be transferable from Instagram or from other social media platforms because the content should be different. It should be more authentic. And for example, for Dior, I think they did a really good job of combining celebrities into their TikTok content to draw the distance between users and brands. And these organic content actually create some phenomenon on the world of TikTok, because by interviewing those celebrities, for example, celebrities showing what is in their Lady Dior bag, I think this content is still high class but also organic and authentic. And one specific campaign that was really successful, it's from the beauty sector, which is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Eye Lips Face Challenge. And so actually, according to Adweek, e.l.f. worked with an agency to develop a catchy song, ultimately creating the hashtag Eyes, Lips, Faces hashtag challenge, which garnered over 2 million videos set to the original music. And also in 2020, e.l.f. recreated the campaign from the past by adding a twist of COVID to make it more in tune with the times. By "Don't touch your eyes, lips, face" with a remixed eyes, lips, face, safe song to accompany the rebooted trend. And of course, there are plenty of functions and creative ideas awaiting brands to try it out on the platform TikTok. There are still brands are taking TikTok as long-term planning, but instead, I think it should be short-term because it's fast and it's gonna be viral within maybe 1 or 2 days. And so there should be this kind of short-term planning strategy of TikTok. I think I will generate a separate episode about TikTok afterwards, but this episode I would like to focus more on influencers. And there's actually a influencer shake-up happening during COVID time. During the pandemic, most of the brands are cutting a lot of their marketing budget because their sales are slumping, and also they don't want to spend that much money on influencers because they can't see the relation between increasing sales and the investment of influencer marketing. And even for some brands, they are asking their employees to promote their products on their own social media platform. And also, by the way, some of the brands are leveraging again more on email marketing because they observe that the open rate during pandemic time is very high while the unsubscribing rate is low. So let's head back to the influencer topic. Due to COVID, marketing budgets are reduced, and also brands are reluctant to see those influencers are posting quarantine photos instead of vacay photos. And according to Shareable, a marketing analytics company, sponsored content since 2020 April has been down for 85% on Instagram. Because as mentioned before, the cruel fact is that influencer marketing is really hard to connect with direct sales. Namely, brands are focusing more on ROI instead of increasing brand awareness or visibility online. So it's very important actually for influencers if they can show the brands that they can actually help the brands to increase their sales. And also, in order to make brands save more money on the influencer budget, for influencers, it's also important for them to have a full skill set, not only just by modeling, posing, posting, but also about some other soft skills such as video editing and to create a whole production chain by the influencer itself. And also due to the reduced budget, brands are trying to find more niche influencers instead of mega influencers because they don't want to only create visibility but also to increase the engagement and also stickiness of the brand via these micro influencers. And so what makes a good influencer cooperation between brand and influencers? Well, first of all, it needs to have a match with the characteristics of the influencers to the brand identity in order not to disappoint the fans from both sides. And so factors like designability and also media stickiness, that is to say how likely the influencers will appear on fashion media, are some of the value standards for brands to choose influencers. And also, it's not only about the cooperation between influencers and brands, but brands can also initiate some new way of cooperation. Also for brands, they can engage influencers in the design process, namely to ask them to co-design certain products of the brand in order to make them promote the brand and also the product. Well, this kind of cooperation actually helps to build up the gap between the audience and reinforce the existing customer base by both for influencers and brands having the financial benefits together. And while branded content that deals with influencers are usually not tied to performance, product collaboration can be. And so there are three kinds of deal structures, namely flat rate, standard licensing fee, and also net revenue shares with earnings tied to product sales. And firstly, flat fee, namely influencers will receive a certain amount of money at the very beginning and then that's it. So actually this kind of cooperation model, well, this incentivizes the influencers to promote their product afterwards. So this is the deal that brands should definitely prevent. And secondly, standard licensing. Well, this kind of deal structure might hinder the future of influencers if there's some conflict happening, because the brands has the rights to use their name. And for some existing examples, some influencers even lose their name or their account name due to the cooperation. So for influencers, they should definitely prevent this deal structure. And the last deal structure is actually the best for both parties, namely the net revenue shares, because it's tied to the sales performance of the product. But however, influencers should be also careful about how many products that brands promise to manufacture. So influencers should also negotiate with brands about the minimum inventory requirements in profit-sharing scenarios. Depending on the size of the brand and the influencers, deal flexibility can be necessary, such as increasing an influencer's affiliate commission or tacking on design fee to sweeten the profit bond scenario. And so for the product collaboration model, lastly, I would like to share an example about the twin fashion influencer Molly and Reese Blutstein with the French brand Nomasei. They launched a co-design loafer shoes in March 2021. And so basically the collaboration starts with the brand actively send their products, their shoes, to those twin influencers. And they realize that they actively promote their shoes without any product placement. And this actually facilitates the collaboration with the brand and the influencers, because the brand thinks that not only the influencers are the match for the brand, but also they see the potential and engagement of the influencers to their product and brands. And so basically, based on the collaboration, Reese and Molly designed the No loafer shoes from Nomasei in two colorways, a buttery yellow leather and a green croc embossed style. And this becomes a huge success of the sales and also to optimize the awareness of the brand. So for the deal structure of this collaboration, it's a 50-50 revenue deal, which actually creates the authentic ideas and also to maximize their visibility. So I think this is a really successful case in terms of product collaboration. And all in all, influencer marketing or influencer collaboration is more or less still a gut feeling business model, because it's really hard to see the impact and also to connect with the sales, as I've mentioned before, except the product collaboration structure. And so that's the reason why brands during this hard time, they're reluctant to spend more budget on influencer marketing. However, with the slow recovery of the pandemic, this might also change the landscape of influencer marketing. And this is definitely worth the while for us to continue to observe. And so that's it for today for the influencer episode. It's actually about what I've observed during COVID time. And of course, there are plenty of topics in the influencer marketing I would like to talk about. So please stay tuned and also leave a comment below. What is your favorite fashion or luxury influencers? I would definitely like to know. See you soon.